most about touring?
Well, the traveling gets a little tiring, but the audiences are always, enthusiastic and appreciative, and that really makes a big difference. It's nice to be able to get that confirmation, about the work that you're doing. And when you write a song, sometimes you don't get feedback for a really long time. When you make an album, it takes months for it to get out. But when you're performing live on stage, that feedback is instantaneous in real time. And there's something electric about that, which is really gratifying.
And I suppose it's just part of your life now, isn't it? You would probably miss it.
Yeah, it is something that I do. I feel like anything, if you have an ability, if you don't use it, you lose it. And so as long as folks keep coming out to the shows, I'll find a way to get out there and do some gigs. Although I do aspire to do fewer gigs to larger crowds. See how that works out.
And you mentioned the travel's a bit of a problem. Is there any other downside to touring?
Well, being away from home. I have family here and live in a beautiful part of the world, and upstate New York. And, it's spring is starting to bloom and forsythia is out. And, I wouldn't normally leave except for the work that I have taken on.
So you're coming to Sheffield. I'm looking forward to the gig very much. When you're on tour, do you get time to see much of where you are, places?
Not a lot, but when I do, it's nice to be able to stretch my legs and explore a new place, a new topography. And, the further north that I go in England, the more familiar it is, because I live upstate New York, and it's the foothills of the Catskill Mountain Range. It's not mountainous, but it's starting to get hilly. And as I get closer to, north of the Lake District and then to Scotland, that's not unlike New York state terrain. So I'm familiar about it.
That's beautiful. So I read online that you're, many things, singer, songwriter, producer, writer, but you're also a virtual reality designer and a video game designer. How did that come about?
Inadvertently. It was a period of time after I was kicked out by my label, and I spent a lot of time working with what at the time were the state-of-the-art synthesizers. And so I became pretty adept at that technology and became aware of, at the time, this was in the late 80s, a new technology that did camera-based virtual reality. And I bought myself a developer kit and designed a game for Nickelodeon Television that they licensed, and that led to a few years of creating games for TV and museums all around the world. And it was great fun, a little ahead of its time. It was a fulfilling experience and paid the bills for a few years.
And I'm guessing it's a kind of similar creative process, is it? I tend to think science and art completely separate, but it sort of joins the two, doesn't it?
Well, you're absolutely right. And for me, working with animation and those video instruments was not any different than working with a keyboard and a guitar and narrating a story and an experience and having it be interactive with the audience.